We have today's intensive discussion, conference time. We started with the concept of hall education, college education, hostel education, everything, and I said hall is not just residential because we have non-residential halls in our history, and there are non-residential houses almost everywhere. And today we go to the more nitty-gritty technical side of the system that we have in this university, of course, around the world. So in a way, in the past 2 days, we have traveled a long journey. And where we end up with? I was told and I always believe that a good lesson or lecture or activity in a university is not judged by how many answers we have been given, but how many questions we have generated from those answers. I'm not quite sure whether we have generated more questions than answers over the past 2 days, but I'm very sure that this has been a very unprecedented activity in perhaps the history or the recent history of hall development or college development in this university, because we really put our heads together, our brains together in the past 2 days to rethink about the problems that we are facing. The history of universities, of halls and colleges, and I have reminded everyone yesterday that the history itself really predates all the political development of national states, of USA setting up, because Harvard is longer than the United States of America, and I'm very proud to tell you that the University of Hong Kong is older than our People's Republic of China for many years. So we are really dealing with something more important than what is in the political arena. And I would say at the end of this conference, I would just go back to my opening remarks, which I wrote but didn't really say it because we have other VIPs saying it. I started with this very simple quote: 大學之道，在明明德，在親民，在止於至善. And it's translated very nicely, saying that the way of ultimate wisdom is the comprehension of absolute integrity, genial development of the common people, and earnest pursuit of the perception of humanities. So when we are discussing about the problems, about GPAs, about our students, about our staff, perhaps at the end we should ask ourselves, what are all these meant for? To me, it's really for the furthering of humanities via intellectual pursuit in the halls, colleges, and the universities. I think I've been with the halls for quite some time. I've been seeing that developing. Well, there are success stories and problems. And if you look at this this booklet, you see a lot of words. But beyond is the word which stands out. I think, yes, whatever past we have, whatever issues you have investigated, is really beyond today, which really counts. So we ended with this session more or less deliberately, because I like to end, not really end, but put a semicolon or pause to our investigation by looking at the problems that we are facing. And the real word is beyond. It's the challenges that we should be facing. And we are all here to put our heads together to think about what we are going to do next. Before I read the final words, let me report a little bit of statistics to you. The online registration for this conference as of yesterday was 244. And you know that webcasting. So other than sitting here, I do not know how many is watching us in cyberspace, but definitely everything is basically recorded and could be revisited when you have time. At our counter registration, the 2 days together, we have 267. So some of us here, some of us have left. I believe this is a very important group of people. And of course, you here are important people. Because we are really here to care for our students, to care for our education at the vantage point of whole education. We started with the concepts and we end up with the practices, the challenges facing us. But we are putting something behind. I mean, we are leaving something behind and we'll be looking forward. And what we have collected in these 2 days, we have lots of information, ideas, in the form of PowerPoints, papers, discussion notes. They will all be there online later on. So please visit them. I think much more important is that we've met each other. And we come from all over the world. And UK, America, Singapore, Macau, Hong Kong, various institutions. I think, at least I myself, made a lot of friends. And it's not just friends who care about university education, but I think we will be working together in a new future in various aspects, in various places. I just hope that this collegial spirit that we treasure so much in the whole college education would be reflected in our future cooperation and development. So with that, I would just say thank you, everybody. I don't want to thank one by one because that's been done repeatedly, but I'd just like to thank all of you for sparing this time at this very difficult time of the semester or the academic year to be with us. And of course, my colleague Wilton has already explained to you, told you the secret why it is yesterday and today. We have to finish it, okay? Right. And for us, living and working in the halls, we know time management, we know deadlines. We are here to beat the deadlines, and we've now beaten it, hopefully in a very nice way. Starting tomorrow, you'll go back, we make friends. And of course, early tomorrow, I'll be speaking on elections. You won't see me speaking on education for another 2 days. I'm up for elections in the coming few days. Everybody's busy, and I would say that it's a bad time, a steady time for me, and I'm sure it's also for you, that we are all busy people, but we do spare some time to think about this very important issue, and we will revisit this in future. So, just one last task I was assigned to do, and I hope you will support me doing it. My colleague Cecilia is already on her way to Korea, okay? And she left me with a task. And I should especially thank, of course we all thank our supporters, but we should especially thank our supporting team, conference supporting team, Michelle, Ladina, Ashley. Without their support, this conference will not be as successful. And Cecilia has bought some souvenirs for the 3 ladies on behalf of the team, and she asked me I must present it before I close the conference. So let me do that. And you will see a t-shirt for Michelle and 2 pins, university pins for the other 2 ladies. And Cecilia told me I must put on the pins on the coat. So I will be very, very careful. But let me do that, and while I do that, please give a hand of applause for the